He's just a burnt-out bureaucrat trying to drink his way through the end of civilization. She's a young refugee with a bad attitude, a big secret, and the first pregnancy anyone's seen in 18 years. Together, they'll cross a collapsing Britain while dodging soldiers, terrorists, explosions, and one extremely mellow Michael Caine. He wants to be left alone. She wants to save her baby. Humanity wants them to hurry the hell up. Coming this Christmas, the feel-good infertility dystopia of the year. Children of Men.
That's a great intro for a comedy.
I think it's like a buddy road trip film.
Yeah, road trip film.
I thought it was a comedy. I thought it was a buddy comedy film.
Children of Men.
I guess it's not. Well, it's in the can anyways.
Yes, it is.
All right. I think it's time for your song nobody asked for, Ray. Oh, nice choice.
Ray Axl Rose.
We got a film that seems to be forgotten to time and memories, but why it's not talked about more, I don't know why. It's the best film the year it was made. It stars Clive Owen and
Michael Caine.
And once you see it, you will break down and cry. Whoa, whoa, it's Children of Men. Whoa, it's Children of Men.
And oh, thank you.
Slash.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yes.
I like that. I think it was a good song choice. It brought me back to the early days. Mm-hmm. And kudos to you for getting Michael Caine to cameo there on the.
That was awesome of him. I only had to pay him $5. Turns out he'll do any movie for $5.
That's
Jaws 4, for instance.
It paid for something. Come on.
They didn't even got him a pack of cigarettes and $5. Hello, I'm here for the shark.
I'm here to collect money and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
He's got that swarm money.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Forgotten Films. Welcome to Forgotten Films, the podcast where we dust off the VHS boxes, crack open a cold one, and revisit movies time left behind. Each episode, we take a fresh look at an overlooked, underrated, or nearly forgotten film to find out whether it's forgotten or forgotten for a reason. My name is Jed, and I am the Chief Rewind Officer.
And I am Ray, the assistant to the assistant manager of Lost Classics.
And today we take another trip through cinema's lost and found to bring you today's feature presentation. Today's feature presentation is Children of Men from 2006, rated R. Gar, me matey. Starring Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, Michael Caine.
And so that Jed doesn't have a stroke, I'll mention the other names.
Trying to say his name.
So his name is Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Thank you.
There's Claire Hope Ashity and Charlie Hunnam. It's directed by Alfonso Cuarón with a story by P.D. James based on his book, The Children of Men. It was released by Universal Pictures, and it runs 1 hour and 49 minutes.
Very, very nice of you to not make me stumble over his name.
I want to say Chewbacca Okafor. He just should have went.
Yes.
Can you imagine? And the winner is Chewbacca Okafor.
Do you think they would have given him the award? Because they sure didn't at the end of...
No, Chewie didn't get one, so they just screwed him over. Yeah, you don't get an Oscar, Chewbacca.
Oh, damn it. We're starting off
poor
so
Chewbacca.
great.
Just call the guy Chewie. If you got to refer to him, Chewie.
Just going to call him Chewie. Sorry, but that's what we're probably going to do. All right, so now it's time for the back of the box. This is where we normally would say, let's flip over the VHS box and read the back of the box. But interesting FYI fact here, so this is the first film that we're doing that a VHS movie was not made. So it's on...
When they were phasing them out?
Yeah, it's on a DVD and digital format only.
Wow.
So just something to have there. So let's flip over the box and read what's on the back. It's the back of the box.
What's in the box? No children, no future, no hope. In the year 2021, 18 years since the last baby was born, disillusioned Theo, played by Clive Owen, becomes an unlikely champion of the human race when he is asked by his former lover, played by Julianne Moore, to escort a young pregnant woman out of the country as quickly as possible. In a thrilling race against time, Theo will risk everything to deliver the miracle the whole world has been waiting for. Co-starring Michael Caine, filmmaker Alfonso Cuarón's Children of Men is the powerful film Pete Hammond of Maxim calls magnificent, a unique and totally original vision.
Damn, they got Maxim to give him a quote?
You know, there's no film criticism like Maxim film criticism. And if they say it's a magnificent film, then why the hell did this film not win every Oscar? Holy crap, Maxim said?
Yeah. Oh, what? Maxim said what?
Give an Oscar to Chewie. And, and that Michael Caine guy. Give him another one.
Yeah, well, see, they agree with you there.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees Michael Caine should get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody understands that. That was very nice, Ray. That was. I don't know how you do that with your voice.
I don't either.
I think you're just doing this whenever nobody's looking. In the back, no children, no future, no hope. Pretty sure that's what you're doing.
It starts with road rage in my car. Hey, get out of my way. I'm flipping you the bird.
The bird. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for our spoiler alert. This one is probably going to be a spoiler-heavy movie podcast, because, it's just what we do now. So we've given you the spoiler alert. Now let's get into the commentary track.
Here's what worked, what didn't, and everything in between.
All right, let's start with the cast and the crew. There's a couple of people in this film.
Yes, there are. And good night, folks. No, let's start with Clive Owen, the star. He plays the lead role of Theo, who is normally he'd be the hero of the film, but he spends most of the film trying not to be.
Yeah, it's an interesting hero because he barely seems like a hero.
Right.
Yeah.
He's pretty disillusioned.
Yeah.
Well, most people in the world are disillusioned in this film. There's no children. The last child was born something like 2 decades before. There's no hope. There's no faith. It's just, humanity's going to die out. So people are pretty depressed.
Sure.
And here's this character Clive Owen's playing. He's trying to drink himself to death in the dystopian apocalypse. And so he has the makings of a great hero.
Tell us who else is in this film.
And then there's Julianne Moore, plays like an ex-girlfriend of his.
And I will say that you do wish there was more of her in this movie.
Yeah. So she's not only his ex, she's like the head of this resistance movement that's against the government that's very totalitarian and very anti-immigrant. And, wow. Good thing that could never happen.
Topical.
So there's also Michael Caine.
There's Michael Caine.
He's an old friend of his, a radical from the old days, and now he's pretty much settled in. As far as everybody in the apocalypse goes, he's probably doing pretty well for himself.
He kind of reminded me of the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
He's a funny, compassionate, lives out in the woods, grows marijuana, and somehow seems to be having the healthiest emotional response to this apocalypse that's happening.
Right. Despite having a wife that's basically bedridden and basically in hospice care, if you think about it.
Yeah, she's in like a not a coma necessarily, but she's like mute and just in a state of nothingness.
And so there's this group of people that are fighting against the government, which Julianne Moore is sort of the leader of, and they call themselves the Fishes. And
Fishes be crazy.
They're very extremist, pretty dangerous people. And the second co-lead of this group is played by Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I'm so glad that you're saying the name.
And then we have the surprise of the movie, which is an actress named Claire Hope Ashity, and she plays Key, who in a world where the last pregnancy occurred 2 decades before and the last birth happened 2 decades before, along comes this young woman who is pregnant.
Right.
And it's a miracle.
Well, okay, let's go into something here real quick. The movie takes place in, wait for it, 2027. When this movie came out, 2027 was more than 20 years in the future.
Right.
Now we're almost there. So apparently the future we've been warned about is happening next year.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm joining the Fishes.
Right? This is just insane.
I'm going to get dreads, join the Fishes.
Okay, this is, another thing we didn't talk about is this is another one of those films where you had seen it and I hadn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. True.
So this was my first time viewing. And so, right out the gate, I'm sitting there with my popcorn and my beer and I'm like, 2027. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very dystopian. It takes place when this film is made, set off in the distant future in London, in England. Mm-hmm. Very depressing, very sad, very bleak. And that seemed like that'll never happen.
Right. Well, so okay, at the very beginning of the movie, everyone is devastated because baby Diego, the youngest person alive, has been murdered. I mean, and it's making global news. And you as a viewer don't understand why this is making news necessarily yet.
In an already upset, depressed society, this hits them pretty hard.
Yes. Once again, the youngest person alive, he's only 18 years old.
Yeah.
So, you're first thinking, oh, he's a baby. Nope.
Yeah. And in this world, he was a celebrity.
Yeah, he was a celebrity. As a matter of fact, he got murdered for refusing to sign an autograph.
Yeah.
To somebody. So Theo, our main character, barely reacts. He's just kind of numb to the whole thing. Gets his coffee, walks outside.
And what I loved about this beginning of the film, this explosion that takes place, which again, there's this group of extremists that are at war with the current government, this very totalitarian government. And so Clive Owen, when he steps out, he buys some coffee at I don't know if it was a Starbucks, but he buys some coffee. He steps out on the street, and as he's stirring his coffee, the way the film is shot is very documentary style. Mm-hmm.
That was done on purpose.
And they did that on purpose. And so basically, usually in a movie, they would telegraph something's going to happen. Usually you can kind of tell when you watch enough movies.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see somebody and the camera will kind of drift off of them, and you'll see the background behind them.
So it frames it, so you know something's coming. Mm-hmm.
In this, it's very much right on Clive Owen, and the explosion happens, and the camera whips over to catch the very end of the explosion.
Right. Yeah. No.
Like it surprised the cameraman.
Exactly. And it's the world is unstable. Nobody's seen children for 18 years. Terrorism is commonplace. Theo is just emotionally detached, though. But violence can happen at any moment.
Right.
And
there is a spark of hope. There's another group of people out there called the Human Project, and they're trying to save the world. And evidently they have this secret that the entire world doesn't know about. A few people know about it, but there's a secret they're carrying. And Theo is kind of brought into this secret, and the people that are in on it are the Fishes.
Which include his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend,
who they lost a baby to, and so they have a history. It kind of explains why Theo's the way he is. He lost his son. He lost a kid. The world lost all their children. He also lost a child. So that's why he is in the state that he's in. Yeah. And suddenly, up shows his ex-girlfriend from many years ago, and they basically kidnap him.
Yeah, and for a reason, for a task that they want him to do for them,
which is to get papers for a refugee. Because
Correct.
in this future, immigrants are being rounded up and put in
very Holocaust,
camp, very
yes.
Holocaust type thing going on. Which again, glad that can never happen. And so he
finds out. So
he thinks she's a refugee. He's getting papers for her because he
That's
has
right.
connections.
That's right.
And then he goes along to escort her.
Right. So that's where I was getting to. So they're in the car. He's met everybody, and they're taking this car. So what I was going to get to is this whole, to give a little bit of backstory with the two characters, Theo and Julian. So there's a scene where they're in a vehicle, they're traveling, and they've got this ping pong ball that they are doing this trick through, that they're blowing it and catching it in each other's mouth, basically, back and forth. It's such yeah, I know. It's such a weird and goofy moment, but it tells almost everything about their old relationship. Just for a minute, you see the people that they probably used to be. And then shortly afterwards, what happens? I mean,
they're attacked.
They are attacked. That's right.
You don't know by who.
Right.
But they're on motorcycles and they attack the car. They're trying to kill them. They're shooting at them. And immediately, Julianne Moore's character is killed.
Yes.
Shot in the face.
And this is crazy because just like when John Travolta was killed in
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, thank you. Everybody just assumed these were the two leads of the movie.
Right.
And she's killed immediately. And so you're immediately, as an audience member, just thrown into this chaos.
Yeah, chaos.
Who is safe in this film?
And I should explain better. Theo hasn't met the secret yet. He's been told that he's going to help a refugee.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets in the car, they're traveling, they get attacked. Everything just goes nuts.
Yeah, there's an ambush.
Yeah, they end up, and the ambush is, we could get into this later, but the ambush is filmed so well. It's just one long 4 minute scene.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like one take.
Yeah.
And it's just the way they filmed it, we can get into later, but it's just filmed amazingly.
Well, so I go into it a little bit later as well, but just a couple of things, it's an incredibly long shot inside the car.
A oneer.
Everything begins casually. They're all laughing. Theo and Julian are reconnecting. Then a flaming car rolls down the hill, and Theo doesn't know what the hell's going on, but the others are kind of, we know exactly what this is. Yeah. And so suddenly they're surrounded. Julian gets shot, and then the camera doesn't give us the normal relief of editing. So it adds this uncomfortableness.
Yes.
And this feeling of like you're there.
Yeah.
And you don't consciously notice the long take, and that's what makes it impressive. It's not like, look how cool this camera shot is. It's, holy crap, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You feel that tension.
The camera literally goes in and out of the car. And
through windows that have been broken out or shot out.
Yeah. And it's an amazing scene. And they're fighting off these people, and they get away and they escape, and they end up at this, I want to call it a ranch or a farm.
Safe house kind of place, yeah.
And this is where Theo is introduced to the first woman who's gotten pregnant in a couple of decades.
Yeah.
Her name is Key.
Yeah. And so Theo's being watched because he's basically the outsider. And so they say, Key wants to talk to you in the barn. And so this is the first time that the movie allows itself some humor. So Theo goes to see Key standing there pregnant, and he's, understandably stunned. And Key jokingly tells him she's a virgin.
Yes, she's pretty funny.
Yeah.
For the predicament that she's in, the danger that she's in, she's pretty funny.
Yeah.
She's got an attitude on her.
Yeah. And so, she plays it off. She basically says, I'm kidding, of course, But I like that because it prevents the character from becoming like this saintly symbol.
And up to this point, Theo, all he was doing was getting papers for this refugee.
Yes.
He wasn't
going to be along for the ride.
Yeah, that's him. As far as he's concerned, he got paid money to get papers for this girl. from his connections. And so, but when he sees this pregnant woman, again, first pregnant woman in 2 decades, you can sense something happens to him. Some changes within, or what is it? Is it hope? Does he have hope finally? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know if it's hope or if it's a feeling. You know, they did say something along the lines of, if Julian said, if anything was to happen to me, you'd know what to do. You'd be able to take care of everything.
Evidently, back in the day, before he became disillusioned and lost his kid and everything, he was pretty much a big activist.
Well, that's how they met. That's how they were activists at a rally together, and that's how they happened to meet.
Full of life, probably, stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Maybe a little nuts.
Right.
You have to be that kind of person.
Exactly.
Seeking that kind of attention. But here he is, this depressed alcoholic, kind of wants to hide from life. And all of a sudden he's thrust into this amazing situation. He's a very reluctant protagonist. Again, I don't want to call him a hero.
Sure.
But he's very reluctant. But again, seeing what in front of this important thing that's happening, you sense something's going to change in him. And then he learns another twist. This movie's great at throwing these little twists.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You come to find out that this group of people, these fishes, who you thought were on
the side
of the pregnant girl and helping her, turns out not so much.
Yep.
And
they've got an agenda.
They have an agenda.
A political agenda.
And they want to use that baby for it against the government. But that means, and the thing I really like about the movie is that Clive Owen goes to get some rest. He kind of cleans up a little bit, puts on a bathrobe.
He's going outside for a smoke.
Puts on some flip-flops.
Because it's the only shoes that fit.
The only shoes that fit him. And he goes out for a smoke, and he overhears the leaders of the fish group talking. And they basically are giving their plan, which is, we got to kill all these people, and we got to use this baby as a political tool.
Take the baby. So the plan is, we gotta jet out of here.
So Theo rescues Key and a midwife.
And the midwife
comes along and they steal a car.
And they disable some of the other ones.
Yes, in the mud.
Right.
Which is pretty funny seeing him in flip-flops. It's kind of like John McClane in Die Hard. He gets caught without shoes.
It's true. And I will say another thing about this. It's one of the more believable, disable cars and try to sneak away in a vehicle kind of things. And a lot of times in the movies, it just happens like, boom, yeah, everybody can do this and you just get away with it. No, there's people that are running after them that catch up to the car, and they're not even running that fast.
Right.
I mean, if you were to sprint, you'd still be able to do it. They just don't show that kind of stuff in movies.
Yeah.
You might have a car that's chasing you, that's catching up to you, not a human. So you're still feeling this tension any of us could die at any moment.
And it carries through the rest of the movie. The fish are on their ass the entire time.
Yes. And because it's literally the first baby that's going to be born in 18 years.
And so basically, Theo makes the decision that he's got to take this girl to the Human Project, which means they got to go on this trek.
Yeah.
Through, I don't want to call it enemy territory, but through dangerous lands.
So they try to go to a safe house first. And I say a safe house, the only place that Theo thinks would be safe.
Right. But along the way, they stop off.
And that's Jasper's house. And that's where we meet Michael Caine. We've actually met him before this, but that's when everybody that's traveling here meets Michael Caine. And it's another one of those rare moments in the movie where things get a chance to slow down and you can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And he gives Theo and Key some temporary sense of safety.
Yeah.
And it's probably the only sections where it felt like, okay, yeah, I can breathe.
Yeah. This house is hidden.
Yeah.
People can't find it.
And
you got to know that it's there to look for it.
That's right. It's got cameras that are set up around the area. And it's not easy to find.
And Jasper himself, he's a unique character. We said before, he's kind of like Jeff Lebowski, Jeff Bridges character from Big Lebowski. He's like an older version of him.
Yeah.
And he's like...
Lives off the land.
He's an old hippie, smokes dope.
Grows his own.
Yeah.
Strawberry cough.
Yeah.
This is great. Cough. What? Cough. What's it taste like?
Strawberries.
Okay, this is what was going through my head when I was watching this. How does a British person say strawberry?
That's a good question.
You would think, strawberry, but it's strawberry.
Strawberry.
So strawberry.
So, you can tell that Michael Caine was an activist once upon a time. Maybe that's how they met.
Yeah, he was a political cartoonist, and he's way gone past those days.
Listening to old music on albums, Radiohead, just beautiful. You think he'd be listening to John Lennon, Beatles or something, because, and he
also does.
He also kind of looks like John Lennon a little bit. And what's funny is that when he got the role, he decided he was going to honor his old pal, John Lennon, by doing like a version of him, because he thinks that this is how John Lennon would be in that time.
Yeah. No, he pulls it off masterfully.
Yeah.
He really does. So next up is Bexhill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
is a refugee. What do you call it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a kind of concentration camp. Yeah.
But this is where the filmmaking becomes kind of astonishing. Theo moves through streets, gunfire, explosions, soldiers, refugees, apartment buildings, and the camera just keeps following him.
And it's a 6-minute oneer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a battle going on.
Yeah.
People are getting killed.
Yeah.
She's in the middle of giving birth.
Oh,
She's
yeah, that's
about
right.
to give birth. Like in movies, when you see a pregnant woman, that when it comes time for her to give birth, it's going to be during the most chaotic scene of the movie.
Yes.
She's going to suddenly, oh my God, here it comes. And, they're being chased by a shark, or, UFOs come in and the aliens are invading the earth and breaking through the door. Women always seem to have babies when horrible things happen. And in this film, there's a battle going on. People are being killed. There's explosions, and she goes into labor.
Yep.
And as it's going through and they're sending off explosions and stuff, there's also fake blood going around. And at one point on the camera lens, you see blood splatter to the screen. And when that happened, the director thought the take was ruined. So it happened like in the middle of the take.
And he yelled.
And he thought, oh God, the take is ruined. And the cinematographer said, keep going.
Well, so he actually yelled cut, but it happened to be at the same time that another one of the explosions, because they were happening all over the place.
Heard him.
So no one heard him, and it just kept rolling.
Yes.
And so he was like, all right, just keep rolling.
And at the end of the take, he goes, that's too bad we can't use that one.
Yeah.
And the cinematographer, he said, what are you kidding? This goes in the movie.
Yeah. And it's the one that ended up in the movie. Yeah. And you're stuck in all of
it's
this.
As if it's happening to you.
Yes.
You're with them the entire way.
And then so now that they've found a place to just rest and get off her feet, because her water broke back before this little 6-minute scene was happening, they finally get in there, and it's time, and it's baby time.
Yes.
It's baby time. So the baby is born.
And a beautiful moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happens. I mean, it's just, and they did this, was it a CGI baby?
So it was they set up a little apparatus, and they had a doll being used so that the physicality and everything would be there, but it was digitally removed and covered with CGI baby.
Okay.
But once again, very well done.
Yeah.
And
according to the director, these scenes that look like it's one long sequence, and there's the car ambush scene that's about 3 minutes long. There's the bombing scene that's about 6 minutes long. There's another sequence in the movie, a oneer, that another 3 or 4 minutes, but it all looks like one take. And they used visual effects to make it seem as if it was one long take.
Right. They call them a digital oneer.
Yeah.
But you still have to be really good at your cinematography to even make something like that work.
Exactly.
It's because, and when the digital part really comes in is when they're digitally stitching together where they actually did cut. And that could just be somebody walking in front of the two actors or walking across the frame.
Going across a dark doorway or
somebody
something.
falling. Yeah. And that's where they do these little clever edits. And, when I say digital, I don't mean AI.
No.
No. Nothing about this movie is AI.
No.
So yeah, this is a crazy part of the movie. So the baby is born. It's probably the most powerful scene. Once the baby's born and other people start discovering that the baby
They hear
is
the baby
born.
crying.
Right. Theo and Key walk downstairs with the newborn baby. Baby begins crying. And slowly everybody stops. There's all this chaos going around. Soldiers stop shooting. Refugees stop, and some of them are just grabbing out to touch it, to touch the foot of the baby. You see people falling to their knees. Some people pray. People are staring.
It's like it's hope has returned.
Just for a moment, everybody recognizes that they're witnessing something extraordinary. And then Theo and Key leave the building, and immediately the shooting begins all over
Boom,
again.
Explosion.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff happening.
Yeah. So, it's really, what does that say? Is that scene hopeful or incredibly depressing? Because I think it's both.
Both.
The fact that they stop shooting gives you hope.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they immediately start again tells you everything about humanity.
It tells you everything about human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still have an enemy. We still have enemies we need to take care of.
Yeah.
But I'm having a feeling that word would spread and things would get better. Kind of like a pool of water. You throw something in a pool of water and the ripples go out.
The waves.
You got to think that things might get better.
Well, and you kind of get a hint of that things do get better because, and this was also intentionally done, the director said he wanted to make a movie to where when the credits rolled, that wasn't the end of the movie. That's where the beginning of the movie was. And when the credits roll, which is right after this scene, you hear that one child crying, and then you hear a kid laughing, and then you hear more kids laughing.
Children returning to the world.
Right. You don't see any of this.
No.
It's just you hear it while the credits are going.
And let me just say that one of my favorite aspects of this film, watching again, I get more in detail later, is the sound work.
It really is. It tells its own kind of story.
There's a lot of ambient going on, a lot of ambient sound going on throughout this movie, and a lot of it in the beginning of it is a lot of explosions, a lot of bullets flying, a lot of advertising,
Yes.
a lot of marketing going on in the background.
But it's also telling you a story.
Telling you the story of the movie, basically.
Well, and the history of
the history of
the history of
fertility and everything that's been going on, and the fishes and the battle between the government and this radical terrorist group. And then there's this beautiful thing at the battle at the end when an explosion goes off, and it happened in Saving Private Ryan as well, where an explosion goes off, and what happens? You lose your hearing.
Oh yeah, you get that ringing,
and it got that ringing. So there's a lot of that sound going on while all this chaos and visual terror is going on around you, and it's very unsettling.
Yes. And
I just thought, man, what a masterful sequence that ending battle was. I mean, it rivals the car ambush scene, but man, that whole sequence at the end of the movie, it's 6 minutes long, and it's better than most movies all by itself.
It really is good. I agree. And
I love the choice of needle drop songs in this whole thing. I'm going to single out that Radiohead is in here. Jasper plays it in his house, Life in a Glass House. What a great song. Rolling Stones with Ruby Tuesday. You have Deep Purple with Hush. I mean, it's just a lot of it's a great little soundtrack. You don't think a soundtrack for children of men, but great little soundtrack.
There's even a part where Jasper plays some, I think, Skrillex.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what, dubstep, right?
Yeah.
Which, little did they know that dubstep would basically be gone would peak in 2012.
Yeah.
But maybe next year it'll make a recurrence,
Yeah. It's not, it can't be prophetic all the time.
Once again,
it was wrong about the concentration camps and the refugee, the immigration stuff. That's not happening. So,
if dubstep makes a comeback in 2027, then we know that that's the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, somebody's going to watch this podcast and bring it back. Dubstep, it's coming back.
Then all the checks will have been checked.
Yes.
A lot of times we don't have the cutting room floor. This is where we talk about things we don't like about the movie or wish weren't in the movie or whatever. I'm going to let you do yours first.
Well, it's not really about the movie. It's
Okay.
about the way the film was marketed. So if I have an objection to this film, it's
Sure.
the studio, Universal, for
Okay.
botching the release of this film.
Which happens a lot. It's hard to market.
Yeah. And, you have a film that you would think that they realize might have awards potential, which is why they may have released it around the latter half of the year,
Right.
around Thanksgiving, Christmas. But you kind of just get the feeling they were dumping it. They had no idea what this film could do. And during the making of the film, they were complaining because they were taking so long to shoot it.
Right.
And they were complaining about the cost.
Studio interference.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so the studio's bungling of this film is just absolutely awful. And why they didn't push this during Oscars, I'll never forgive them because it was the best film of that year. It should have been in the running, and it wasn't even a thought. And Michael Caine, come on, give me a break. And then in watching it again, I did notice a mistake, and I hate finding mistakes in films, but it's also kind of funny. But around the 29-minute mark, and this is after the car ambush scene, literally at one point, the camera is circling one of the cars, and you see a crew member wearing headphones and crouching by the car, right behind Clive Owen. And it's like, oh, no one noticed. Okay.
How
Hi,
funny.
I'm John. I'm smoking a cigarette. Hey, I'm just kind of hanging out.
Not apocalyptical for me.
So, I was like, wow, look at that guy. Look at him. That's pretty funny. So basically, this movie to me is near perfect. And that's my only complaints. But it's a big complaint. The studio bungled it, the release.
Well, okay. The cutting room floor. This is what we're talking about. This movie is relentlessly bleak. One of my biggest issues wouldn't be necessarily something that's wrong with the film. It's just exhausting. Every time these people find somewhere safe, nope.
No.
Julian dies. Jasper dies. Miriam is taken away. The fishes betray Key. Bexhill is a nightmare. Theo is shot. There isn't much emotional relief.
Yeah. It's bleak.
At what point does creating an intentionally miserable atmosphere start affecting how much you actually enjoy the movie? That's where I was with it.
Oh, really?
Yes. Once again, I like this movie, but it's exhausting.
Mentally exhausting.
Yes. And so why doesn't the movie here's the other one. Why doesn't the movie explain the infertility? We basically know nothing.
Right.
Why did humanity become infertile? Why can Key suddenly have a baby? Is it temporary? Like, is she?
There are no answers for that.
Right.
The filmmakers have no answers for that. It just happens.
The movie doesn't care.
They didn't want to get into it. There's political ramifications. They didn't want to.
Yeah,
Open it up.
exactly. Once again, these are just some of the. I
And-
like some of those
and
explanations.
In the book, there was no pregnant character.
There wasn't.
No. So
Here's another thing that's weird, though. The director didn't read the book.
no, he did not.
That's another thing I have issue with.
Which is why he was adding all this stuff to it.
Yes, and apparently the guy that wrote the book liked it,
Yeah.
right? Liked the movie, but it also is irksome to me that he didn't read the book.
He didn't want to be confined.
I get it, but anyways.
They're artists. You got to let them have their freedom.
Okay, here's another thing. Do we know?
Good Lord, Jed.
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Theo is intentionally detached. That works for the character.
Yeah.
Does his detachment occasionally make the audience feel detached too? Maybe you, Ray, feel completely detached from all the emotion there. But he does have an interesting balance to it. So, there is an interesting balance there. And just to bring it back home again, I think this is extremely well made. But when I think about watching it again, my immediate reaction is, why would I put myself through that again?
Maybe take some quietus.
And that's not necessarily criticism. The question becomes, does rewatchability matter?
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I totally would love to watch this movie with people who've never seen it before.
Sure. And once again, I enjoyed watching it, but I wasn't enjoying it while I was watching it. Does that make sense? And while I will still, and we'll get to it, I'll still recommend this movie to people.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's emotionally draining.
Yes.
But we'll get more into that. Right now, we're going to toss to our ad break. So we're going to hit pause for a minute.
Don't eject that tape.
And children of men, the year is 2027. Humanity is falling apart. Hope is nearly extinct. And everybody could really use a cold beer.
Preferably one made in Texas.
Luckily, some things are still worth believing in.
Family, friendship, the future of mankind.
And an ice-cold Lone Star.
Because when society collapses, the government turns authoritarian, and you find yourself escorting the most important person through a war zone.
You're gonna want something cold waiting for you at the end of the day.
Assuming your refrigerator still works.
Lone Star Beer, the unofficial sponsor of Forgotten Films.
Proof that even in the bleakest possible future,
There's still a little hope left in the cooler.
please drink responsibly.
Especially during the apocalypse. The beers are cold.
The takes and Michael Caine impressions are questionable.
Let's continue. All right, now it's time for Behind the Scenes. This is where we talk about cast and crew stories, production challenges, budget, box office, studio stories, trivia, fun stuff like that. All right, it's time for the Behind the Scenes. Let's start off with the long takes because there are a few of them in this movie.
Mm-hmm. The ones I can think of are the key giving birth,
Mm-hmm.
which is like 3 minutes long. The country road ambush, which is over 4. And then
And the most famous one
Yeah.
probably from this movie.
and the battle scene at the end, which is about 6.
Mm-hmm. But he is known for this. And this director is known for it as well. It's either the director or the cinematographer, I can't remember, who also did like Birdman.
Yeah, same guy.
Which that's another movie that's fantastic
And
to
Gravity.
watch.
He shot Gravity as well.
That has like, that's supposed to all be one kind of take like that. Or at least there's a lot of them in that movie.
Right.
So yeah, incredibly complex extended shots. Car ambush. That one's fascinating because they developed an elaborate camera rig that allowed the camera to move through the vehicle while the actors performed around it.
Yeah.
And that is not easy to do.
They had to duck and lower the seats and get around.
I don't remember there being a duck.
But literally, like, they duck out of the way of the camera and move through. You know, it's just very, very complicated.
It's worth talking about here because you watch assuming that you assume there's no way they actually shot this inside that car. You immediately think to yourself, this is in a sound studio and they're, doing no.
Yeah. And
The opposite is true.
And before they shot the film during pre-production, they said it was the impossible shot. They thought there's no way we can do this, and they were going to settle for doing it the way you just described. But
Right.
they said, nope, we're doing it in the wild,
Yeah.
and we'll figure a way.
And like I said, as much as this movie was emotionally draining and just like I don't think I could watch it again, I watch that scene all the time, like I said in my YouTube stuff, and it's never not impressive,
Yeah,
no matter how many times I've seen it.
right.
And that's just coming from me. Like I said, growing up, me and my buds used to try to make movies, and back then, this is before this movie was made. Steven Spielberg's known for doing some oneers.
Yeah,
Martin Scorsese is known for doing some oneers. And so we would try to throw in a oneer every once in a while. And you start to understand exactly how hard that is to do.
it's hard to get one of your friends to walk in a straight line.
Or memorize your damn lines.
Or your line is "I'm here." That's it.
Yeah.
Just say "I'm here."
At the very end of a 6-minute oneer, line. Damn it.
So just imagine the logistics of shooting these scenes. I mean, that battle at the end. Could you just imagine?
Right. And then having to reset it. That one specifically.
Again, 14 days to plan.
5 hours between
each time you shoot, you got to wait 5 hours to reset again.
Yeah. Or no, it takes that long. Yeah. So it takes 5 hours to reset everything and then you can shoot again because that the minute they're done, they're like, let's go again.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep that.
You don't want to be the guy that screwed up.
one, you don't want to be the guy. Yeah, exactly. And two, everybody has to keep an emotional, like you got to remember what you were doing 5 hours ago and what your character was doing, because if they need to stitch some of this stuff together, it's got to work.
Yes.
It's insane. And speaking of Wonders, if you're a fan of Wonders, since we talk about it a lot in this episode, if you want to see a show that heavily leans into Wonders in every single episode, watch the show on Apple TV called The Studio. It's so
great.
Good.
There's one episode that's called The Wonder. And
Yes.
it's one take.
And it's about the struggles and like lighting.
Of trying to make a film.
Yes.
They're great. They did it in one take.
Yes. And it's so good.
And it's so good.
It's so good. It's definitely worth checking out. We don't recommend a lot of TV shows on this. Definitely can recommend that one though. Okay. So here's one thing that I always think is interesting when you show the future in movies. This did not, once again, this came out in 2006 and it's reflecting 2027. That's what the future is telling us. And I think one of the smartest decisions in this movie is that they didn't fill 2027 with like holograms, flying cars, silver jumpsuits, bizarre futuristic gadgets.
There's no Blade. They intentionally said no Blade Runner stuff.
Yeah, it looks like 2006, only worse.
Yeah.
You know, it's older, it's dirtier, it's more crowded, it's more broken.
Junk cars. You know, it's just, it looked like, some of my cousin's yards, it's just,
But I also think that decision helped this movie age remarkably well. Okay, so here's something that we didn't talk about in the film. And so this little section I'm going to call The Lost Art of Art. Okay? During the film, so after Theo is kind of tasked and asked with getting these papers, he knows it's not going to be an easy task to do that. It's not like you can just Photoshop some stuff up and then those are your papers. So Theo goes to visit his wealthy cousin who helps preserve famous works of art.
The Ministry of Arts.
Right. And so he works for the government in that sense. So he's going to be the guy that's going to be able to get something like this for him. He walks in and there's the statue of David. There is a Picasso.
Yeah, he's appropriated all this stuff.
Right. That scene leads to one of my favorite philosophical questions in the movie. Why save art if nobody's going to be alive to appreciate it?
I think it was a little nod to what the Nazis were doing during, World War II.
Like the Monuments Men movie.
Stealing all the artwork from all over the world.
Yeah.
Storing it for themselves.
So, here we are. We're doing a show about preserving and rediscovering movies. So, once again, why preserve movies? Why preserve paintings? Why preserve books? Because, there's an assumption that someone will still be here to experience them. But you take away that future and suddenly preserving the past seems meaningless. Mm. And that's just, once again, it's just, I love.
So the art became nothing.
Well, once again, art.
To them.
It's like that. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Yeah. Right. If you take away humanity and the species that can appreciate art, does it even become art? I mean, is it still art? But
in this world, there's no future.
Right.
I mean, you're eventually going to die off.
Right.
Nobody going to be left. So you lose that hope. You lose that faith. First thing that goes out the window is art.
Yeah.
But it's also the first thing you need when you
escape all
reality.
Of that. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Very interesting. I commend you on coming up with that. That was pretty cool. Very philosophical.
I do love philosophical.
So while you were depressed,
themes.
you had time to think about this stuff while watching the film.
Once again, I just think that's interesting. You have this hoard of all of this kind of art, and
interesting.
If nobody's around to appreciate it, then But that's also comes to even more philosophical question, which is life itself. We apparently didn't appreciate it enough to want to keep on living. So
and that far outlives us too.
That's true. Look at cave paintings that we've found. I mean, exactly. It outlives us.
Yeah.
Wow. But humanity has to be around to
appreciate it,
and even see it and discover it again. Okay. let's move on
Man,
to
that's
our
heavy.
I know, man.
Heavy.
Okay, so since we were just talking about the whole art thing, here's some trivia for you. Did you know that there is Banksy art seen everywhere throughout the movie?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they don't necessarily always show close-ups of it
Right,
and
right,
like,
right.
hey, look, you're looking at a Banksy.
Oh, wow.
Kind of stuff.
I wouldn't have
But
thought it because it's in the future and all this other stuff.
Well, that-
But,
and
so
if-
it just shows you Banksy lives on.
And if you know anything about Banksy,
Yeah.
it's mostly like, spray painted onto walls
Yeah.
or onto different dilapidated things.
Yes.
And so this movie lends itself perfectly to that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
My other trivia thing here, which was quietus. And that's the drug that's advertised. The advertisements kind of clue into what its function is. But so do you know about the term quietus? The term quietus is an antiquated medical term for moment of death.
Wow.
Yeah. The patient is approaching quietus.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. You don't hear that on ER.
No, it's not used anymore, but it has been used in culture in the sense that it was used in the play Hamlet by William Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to quote it because my brain cannot memorize Shakespeare for the life of me.
Future drama teacher.
Yes. I know.
Good choice.
I've done hundreds of plays, never done any Shakespeare because my brain will not let me memorize Shakespeare. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sorry. Sorry, kids.
The only trivia that I had in this was that did you know that when he was meeting with the Minister of Arts, his cousin,
Right.
played by Danny Houston, by the way, who uncredited role, great actor, and he was helping him get the refugee papers for this person they hadn't met yet.
Yeah. They're looking at this
They were looking at
huge
this
glass
giant window,
windows.
industrial background with what do you call those smokestack things, and floating up next to it is a big giant pig balloon, just like you saw on the cover of Pink Floyd's Animals.
That's right.
And
And he did that on purpose.
Yeah, he did it on purpose.
So that every time that he's basically looking out of his window, these big, huge windows, like looking at that big record album.
Yeah.
Which is just great.
I love that.
Okay, so let's talk about our quotes. I wouldn't say that this is a real quotable movie
not
like
really.
some of our other
Not really.
films that we've
There's
done.
a lot of discussions that end up being funny,
Right.
the punchline at the end, but they're long
Yeah.
discussion, a lot of setup and payoff. But
Right.
yeah, not quote.
Yeah, you won't quote this movie in everyday life usually.
Right.
But there are some good lines, and that's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
thinking this
yeah.
is here. You want to start us off?
Sure. There's a character, Julian, played by Julianne Moore, but she has this great line where she tells Theo, she goes, you know that ringing in your ears, that ee? She goes, that's the sound of ear cells dying, like their swan song. Once it's gone, you never hear that frequency again. Enjoy it while it lasts.
And that's, once again, if we're going to talk about philosophical terms, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
It's about humanity. It's about everything,
Yeah. And there's people are just saying stuff in here that sounds like exposition, but they do it in such a very poetic way. And Miriam, the midwife, has this great little line where she's talking about, as the sound of playgrounds faded, the despair set in. Very odd what happens in a world without children's voices. And it's sort of playing at the beginning of the film to set up the film, set up this depressing ride you're about to go on. And then at the end of the film, on the soundtrack, you hear kids' voices coming back.
When she said that line, it hit me. I mean, once again, this movie hits you a lot. At least it did for me. That one really hit me whenever she said that. You know, I'm just because I can't imagine that. I don't get out a whole lot, but I'm always hearing kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you always
only
hear
imagine.
you're at the grocery store.
Like Halloween, for instance.
Mundane things.
If it were Halloween or if it was Christmas or something like that, if you didn't hear kids, man, how unsettling would that be?
It would. It's a
You'll
horror.
go by a school, there's a playground, and it's just
Yep.
empty. Just think about how freaky that would be.
And has been for
Yeah.
18 years.
There's this other, Jasper, the character played by Michael Caine, has a lot of great things that he says. And
Thank you.
one of the things he's telling us this story, and it ends up being a joke. And he's talking about the Human Project, and he's talking about how they throw a huge dinner to talk about the infertility problem. And as he's telling this story, so he said all the great minds of London and England, coming together all from all over the world in London, England, and they're trying to figure this problem out. So anyway, he goes, so anyway, in the corner, this gentleman's sitting. He hasn't said a word. He's just tucking in his dinner. And they decide to ask him. They say, well, what do you think? We can't make babies anymore. And he looks up at him. He's chewing on his great big wing. And he says, I haven't the faintest idea, but this stork is quite tasty, isn't he?
No need for storks anymore. That is a good one.
He's so good in this.
He really is. Jasper's got this quote. Everything is a mythical cosmic battle between faith and chance. And this is when they're having a discussion basically about, whether you believe in fate or whether you choose your own fate. And he follows it up with my next quote, which is, he doesn't really worry about it. He goes, so why bother if life's going to make up its own choices?
Yeah.
So, his character is so great.
Yes.
He has a completely different outlook than anybody else in this film.
Yeah. And there's another great thing. There's in that conversation, there's a lot of great conversation going on between those two guys. And Theo, at one point, this explains his character so well and explains Jasper so well. But Theo, they're talking about baby Diego. He's died. So they're talking about it. And Theo goes, no, that was even worse. Everybody crying. I mean, baby Diego, come on. The guy was a wanker. And Jasper saying, yeah, but he was the youngest wanker on earth.
It's true. It's true. He may have been an asshole, but he was a symbol.
Yeah. He was a symbol.
You get it. I get it, man.
Yeah.
My last one is from Theo, and it just sums up his character. I can't remember. Somebody asked him how his day was or what, but his answer was, "Oh, same as every other day. Woke up, felt like shit. Went to work, felt like shit."
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
yeah. I'm sure many people can relate on that. Now it's time for our staff picks. This is our MVPs, cast, crew, scene, song, favorite quote. Here we go. Staff picks.
Michael, you're my cast MVP.
That's your cast MVP.
Yes, it is. Michael Caine. I love Michael Caine in general, and most things he's in is the best. I love him in this movie. He's in a depressing movie, he's like a light. And he's so funny, and I've never seen him play a character like that before.
No.
Like a bohemian. He farts a lot. He smokes dope. He literally is
the dude.
The dude.
Yeah, he's the dude from
He's
the Big
so funny.
Lebowski.
So funny.
Yeah.
And so he stands out, has a lot of great lines, a lot of great philosophical lines, and his sacrifice.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, so for my actor MVP, it is also Michael Caine. I mean, no surprise that I was going to like that character because he is a little bit of levity and humor and handling this world differently. And I almost want to say this is probably who I would be in this movie.
Yeah.
Or at least who I would strive to be. But yeah, so absolutely. Michael Caine. Awesome.
Yeah. As far as crew and BB goes, you want to go first? You want me?
You go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to pick the director, Cuarón. But I could easily mention the director of photography and the sound, the people that worked on the sound. But I'm going to go with Cuarón because somebody's in charge of the whole thing, putting it together, deciding what's going to happen, making the decisions to do what they did. Even when he's being told, we can't do this, we can't do this, we can't do this, he does it anyway.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way.
And that's a good director. So my crew MVP would be the cinematographer. And a lot of times the director and cinematographer go hand in hand. They really do. But there's the director has the vision, cinematographer has to pull it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The skill. So while it could have been the director easily, for me, it comes down to the technical aspect of it. of being able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Because your boss says do it. That's what you got to do.
And when I watch,
you got to figure out this math equation.
when I watch this film, it mystifies me how it was made. Even when you see the behind the scenes,
Yeah.
it just mystifies me how it was made.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how seamless
Yeah.
they can make all of that look.
Best scene, we talked about it. I could mention the battle scene at the end, but I'm going to go with the country road ambush just because it's the first. I know there's an explosion at the beginning of it that got your attention, but that country road ambush just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And literally
ambushes you. Yeah.
Affects the rest of the movie. It sets off so many things happening because it was heading toward one direction. That happens. And it's almost as if, boom, the movie's changed. Here we're going in another direction. It's just an amazing scene and how they pulled all that off.
My scene would be the baby crying through the crowd. And once again, just the fact that it's seeing that many people awestruck and just how everybody is reacting a little bit differently, what people do for this child. They don't even know.
Yeah.
And
it's a symbol. It's a symbol.
It is. That'd be my scene.
Favorite quote? Okay, it's a very simple one where Michael Caine's Jasper says, "Pull my finger."
Anytime he's at the end of basically a serious conversation or situation, that's what he said. Oh, Theo, pull my finger.
Because he's extremely gassy.
Yes. And nobody ever wants to do it. I'll pull it myself.
He's so good with coming up with the jokes. You don't know where jokes are coming. It's pretty funny.
Some good levity there. My favorite quote goes back to that art scene. His line, Theo's line, is 100 years from now, there won't be one sad fuck to look at any of this.
Unsung hero for me would be the guys that play the main villains. We've been calling him Chewy, but Chiwetel Ejiofor and Charlie Hunnam as the head, sort of the head of the Fishes, the terrorist group. When Julianne Moore's character is killed, he assumes the leadership, and they become a much more dangerous political organization. And then he has his little henchman, Charlie Hunnam, as Luke. And those two guys are scary as just F.
They are. My unsung hero are the animals. Now, since the people can't have children anymore, people treat their pets like their children. You see a lot of them. They're everywhere. Sometimes they're dressed up. Sometimes they're in little carriages. I mean, they're everywhere. Also, they seem to like Theo. And it's almost as if the movie is quietly telling us
he's a good guy.
Yeah, that Theo is fundamentally a decent person even before he realizes it himself.
Yeah.
Because, animals can sense those things.
Because he's a wanker.
Yeah. But he's not evil.
No.
And I think that's what they can sense. And they talk about that a lot in the film too. It's like, oh, those dogs really like you. They don't like anybody. There's always
interesting to notice that.
Yeah. I'm sure as you've heard in the podcast, the dogs, or seen in the podcast, the dogs here in the studio. So I'll always notice something with the dogs, the animals. All right, Ray, time for the big question.
Forgotten?
Or forgotten for a reason.
I think it's forgotten. And you know my feelings on this. I think it's one of the better films of this early century. It's one of the best films I've seen in the past 25 years. Honestly.
That's a high rating, man.
But man, it should have won all the Oscars. When people I read a lot of lists, greatest films of the 21st century. I never see this film on it. And I just
really?
Why? Maybe there's people like Jed. And it's too depressing. But
I will get into it.
But yeah, I think it's one of the greatest films of this early century.
So I'm gonna go with, and I've not done this before.
Really?
Forgotten for a reason.
Wow.
But not in a negative way, like you shouldn't watch it. Forgotten for a reason. And so I will elaborate. This isn't forgotten for a reason because it wasn't good enough. If anything, I think it's one of those movies that people respect more than they actually revisit. You know, once again, and I'm one of those people. Like, I enjoyed this film, but I can also see why, like you were saying, it doesn't make these lists because it's a hard watch. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Would I watch it again next weekend? Absolutely not.
Who would you recommend it to? Just anybody?
I don't know. Here we go. So I would recommend this movie if you like serious science fiction, dystopian stories, incredible cinematography, immersive filmmaking, political and social allegories, movies that give you something to think about afterwards. That's who I would recommend this movie to. Maybe avoid it if you're looking for escapism, light entertainment, traditional action, a feel-good movie, something you're going to casually throw on repeatedly.
Definitely not a rom-com.
Right. This is absolutely a movie I think you should see once. After that, you're on your own.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, he probably doesn't want to hear from you.
It's not a bad movie.
Okay.
Whereas I think some of the definition of forgotten for a reason could be because, it's a bad movie.
I get it.
That's not the case here. It's just a hard watch, and I don't think I would watch it again. But I'm glad that I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that brings us to our rewind recommendations. These are our movie suggestions if you liked this film. I'm going to start with my number one. Okay. This one's called The Road.
Oh.
Yeah. So if someone watches Children of Men and thinks, this isn't depressing enough, here you go. That's why I wanted to go first.
I was about to say, if you're going to go, The Road, a happy-go-lucky buddy comedy. What are you talking about, Jed? You just got through saying this film was the Road. Holy
Once
crap.
again, if you liked this movie, you would probably like this movie.
All right. Okay.
What's your number one?
Okay. So you talk about films that you may not enjoy per se, but you have to experience. My number one recommendation, if you like Children of Men, would be Clockwork Orange.
Oh, yeah.
It came out in 1971. It's a dystopian tale set during social collapse and loss of hope. So it has kind of a lot in common. And they're both very bleak.
Yep.
And they both, let's just say, they don't really have the happy-go-lucky endings.
Yeah. My next one would be Brazil. A very different tone, but another dystopian Britain overwhelmed by bureaucracy.
Yep. Okay, good one. Terry Gilliam directed that.
Yeah, Terry Gilliam.
What a wild film.
I know. It really is.
I'm going to go with my second choice would be District 9.
Oh, yeah.
It's that sci-fi tale where the aliens are refugees on Earth.
Yeah, I do like that one.
It's all tell about refugees, military control, and a desperate man on the run through an urban hellscape. So that'd be my second choice.
My third choice would be V for Vendetta. Another mid-2000s vision of a future authoritarian Britain. There's a little running theme here.
Huh? Interesting. Starring Natalie Portman. Hugo Weaving.
Yes. Hugo Weaving in and out of traffic.
Yeah. My third choice would be 28 Days Later, and that's with Sandra Bullock. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Directed by Danny Boyle. Raw, handheld, camera-style society falling apart into humanity. You know, good times.
Good times. Once again, there seems to be a running theme here. My next pick is 12 Monkeys. Going back again with Terry Gilliam, right?
Yeah.
Disease.
Great film.
Yes. Disease, extinction, fate, and a man trying to navigate a world that seems doomed before he even starts.
And Brad Pitt with the goofy eyeballs.
Brad Pitt with his goofy eyeballs and Bruce Willis with long hair at one point.
Yeah. What a great film.
It really is.
Film.
It really is. One worth checking out.
My number 4 choice is Snowpiercer from 2013.
Oh, yeah.
Takes place on a train. Most of Earth has literally disappeared. Last people on Earth during a harsh social collapse. All the class structures on this one train. It's a very interesting film.
Yes, I love movies where they confine you to one space.
Yeah.
I like murder mysteries that are like that.
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Express, the same
Yeah.
kind of, I like movies that are like that.
And that film has a mystery aspect to it as well.
It does. Each compartment that they go into, it's almost like getting into a different movie. It's really interesting. It's really, it's a good one. Okay, my last one is going to be Strange Days.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I know.
How does that stand out? Have you seen it recently?
I haven't seen it recently.
Wow.
It's another gritty, politically charged near future film. Ray Fiennes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was good when it came out. It may be a forgotten film that we have to
Curious to know about that.
to revisit. Yeah.
Yeah. My fifth choice is Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, chose to go with the newer one instead
Yeah.
of the original.
Well,
Okay.
because the original, this film, the director said we're doing the anti-Blade Runner.
Okay.
So, but it has a lot in common with Blade Runner 2049. It shares the same kind of tone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mystery around birth and humanity in that film. If you've never seen Blade Runner 2049, it's all about birth and humanity and what makes you human versus artificial. Not AI,
No.
but just artificial humans.
Okay. That's one more forgotten film remembered. 2006's Children of Men, rated R. Should I tell you what the next week's
Please do.
movie is going to be about?
Yes. I'm all on attention.
Okay.
Can't wait.
This deals with Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
So that's going to narrow it down right there.
Okay.
It deals with a comedy of errors. It deals with somebody who was a DC superhero.
Jaws 4: The Revenge.
You'll have to wait and see. Until next time, please remember to be kind, rewind, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Jed,
And I'm Ray.
and this is Forgotten Films reminding you to crack a cold one.
And watch a forgotten one.